German Unification. How this central jumbled mess called the Holy Roman Empire became this big orange shape labeled Germany. Well, it all started with the Confederation of the Rhine, created in 1806 by Napoleon after defeating Alexander I of Russia and Francis II of Austria at the Battle of Austerlitz. Napoleon forced Francis to drop his title and then created a confederation of 16 German states that were formerly a part of the Holy Roman Empire. Napoleon initially created this nation in hopes of a military ally to protect him from Russian and Austrian attacks. As the Holy Roman Empire depleted, 23 more states joined, all of which were protected by Napoleon. The Confederation was dissolved by the Allied forces opposing Napoleon in 1813, and in 1814 the Treaty of Paris stated that all German states were independent. However, at the Congress of Vienna in 1815, these states were reunited with the hopes of a balance of power in Europe. Although this time it was called the German Confederation, and it included the major powers of Prussia and Austria, as well as the states of Saxony, Bavaria, and Württemberg. The Confederation always had an Austrian president, giving Austria most of the control. This power allowed Clemens von Metternich to make the Carlsbad Decrees of 1819, which focused on the censorship of the press and the regulation of universities. The Zollverein was an important factor in the economy of the German Confederation. Originating in Prussia in 1818, this tariff union reached its peak in the 1830s when it had become present in nearly the entire Confederation. Its focus was to tax outgoing and incoming goods while allowing internal trade at no cost. This idea managed to temporarily reduce the Austrian influence over the population. In 1848, there would be two rebellions hopeful of sparking a revolution. One attack was on Berlin, and the other on Vienna. Both were inspired by the 1848 rebellion in Paris. The motives for the revolution were relatively simple. The poor farmers lacked land, therefore they were able to make only enough money to survive. The artisans were constantly losing jobs because of factories which were a result of the Industrial Revolution. On top of that, the 1840s was a recession, as well as a period of poor harvests. The revolution gained momentum, and the liberals were able to hold a conference in Frankfurt where a new constitution was discussed. Ultimately, the revolution fell apart as conservatives reached out to the poor and the middle class, while the liberals could not agree. Witnessing this was Otto von Bismarck. Otto von Bismarck was the most noteworthy man involved in the German unification. Von Bismarck first appeared in the public eye in 1851 when he was appointed to be the Prussian representative in the German Confederation. He continued his political career by becoming the ambassador to France and then Russia. Von Bismarck would become incredibly important in 1862 when he was appointed the position of Prime Minister of Prussia. At this point, his focus was to unify Germany. To do this, he used war. In 1864, he fought the Danish. In 1866, he fought the Austrians. And finally, in 1870, he fought the French. The Second Schleswig War was fought by Austria and Prussia against Denmark over Denmark's violation of the London Protocol, which stated that the Danish had control over Schleswig and Holstein so long as it was by personal union. The problem was that there was no Danish heir to take the throne. To fix this, the Danish wrote the November Constitution, which created a joint parliament. The end result was a win for Austria and Prussia. As a result of this, Prussia gains control of the important port of Kiel. 2 years later, the Austro-Prussian War was fought in 1866. This is also called the 7 Weeks' War. On one side was Prussia and Italy, who was in the process of unifying and wanted to seize control of Venetia. The other side was comprised of Austria, as well as many of the southern states of the German Confederation. The main reason for the war was built-up tension over who was the bigger German power. A quick win for Prussia and Italy resulted in the removal of German Austria and the southern German states from the German Confederation, leading to the creation of the North German Confederation, which comprised of the German Confederation minus the southern states and Austria. The Italians also managed to gain Venetia, providing them with what they wanted. The final war fought by Otto von Bismarck was the Franco-Prussian War. This was fought by France and the North German Confederation. Most of the tension was a result of a debate as to who would fill the empty Spanish throne. Prussia was a supporter of Hohenzollern, the royal family of Prussia, as well as several other states. Adding to this tension was the Ems Dispatch, a telegram that was sent to Berlin, where Otto von Bismarck was located. The Ems Dispatch played up French insults. Finally, when France had become too fed up, they declared war on Prussia, who was quickly aided by the rest of the North German Confederation. At the Battle of Sedan, the North German Confederation captured Napoleon III, as well as his army. On January 18, 1871, the Germans unified under Prussia, becoming the German Empire. And just 10 days later, the Germans defeated the French in Paris, becoming their first win as a unified nation.